Thank you once again for your time.
You're welcome.
This ability that you have to seamlessly sashay from the likes of Marvel and Hobbitses to prestige, almost indie films. What's the key to be able to make those transitions the way that you do?
To not be too fussed about them being different, if you know what I mean. So to treat them both with the same amount of respect and give them the same amount of integrity. And I mean, you know, I like to mix up the scale. I don't like to be stuck in one thing. And I'm very happy to move from something as big and tentpole and spectacular as this to something a little bit more humble, or even on a smaller screen like television used to be watched on, in the shape of Patrick Melrose, which is something that I've been doing whilst shooting this as well. So it's just to keep it fresh. It's just to keep myself amused and diverted, and hopefully, you know, people who watch it as well.
I get a sense that you're attracted to story more than anything else, regardless of how it's translated. Is that fair to say?
Character, first of all, used to be, I would say, my primary motivation. Now it's more about who I work with as well, as much as that can be something that I can foster as a producer or actor. So it's as much about who I work with now as what the story is and what the character and what my involvement is with it.
When we look at something like the MCU, we're looking at 10 years of it. It's amazing to think how much it's changed. What do you think it's done in the realm of cinematic storytelling and to the box office in that time?
Well, I mean, it's a rule unto itself, isn't it? It's just this huge global multi-billion-dollar, what is it, 14 plus billion. It's mind-blowing figures. 18 films in 10 years, that alone is extraordinary. I think it's 18. It's created sort of long-form narrative in cinema. It's become this stretched canvas that amalgamates in stories like this one, where, you know, certain things come to a head, certain crescendos are reached, and if you've ever cared about any of those characters, or not even, if you just, you know, if you were wandering off the street, you're in for a treat. But it's mightily important to people who've invested any time in the past 10 years on these characters to watch this film.
Exactly, and I think that's the key, isn't it? We are so invested now. We've had all that time, and we've seen all of these characters evolve.
Completely. And I think that's a testament to how brilliant they are. They keep plussing it every time the film a film comes out. They evolve it. They evolve the sophistication, the humour. I think, like a lot of popular culture, it's really brilliant and has kind of thrived by taking imprint from the zeitgeist. So you have, whether it be inclusivity with Black Panther, whether you have, and diversity obviously, but also having a female-led Captain Marvel movie, to, I mean, even in my own regards, having someone who can teach you that no matter what's going on in the world of high tech or logic or Western thought, the power of the mind can still help to shape your reality and your physiology as much as your laptop or computer or prowess as a surgeon can. But in all seriousness, this one's about united we stand and divided we fall. It's about the power of collective, and we're living through an era where that's very, very, very potent, I think, with the hashtag #MeToo and Time's Up, and also what the kids are doing in America about gun control and fighting for their future, for their right with that, and they're being really savvy and brilliant as a collective. And, you know, we lean on our leaders for good or for ill too much, I think, you know, and it's important to remember that. It's empowering to remember that. And I know these are superheroes coming together to empower themselves as a collective, so it's not the usual gathering. But I guess if there is any kind of societal theme, that's it. And Marvel does do that. They bring in really extraordinarily complex storylines and characters and mix it up with a huge bag of humour as well.
They do, and one of the brave things that seems to be is they take and pluck complete unknowns, or not necessarily so, but Scott and James Gunn and, of course, Taika, and they just let them tell the stories the way that they want to. And when you take something like Thor, it was just such a random...
so refreshing. It was so refreshing. I think that's the most freedom they've ever given a director, and I think it unnerved them a little bit, and rightfully so, because it's just a massive kind of gear change, but it was brilliant, you know.
It all feeds also into, we're about to see Infinity War. It's more superheroes per square mile than I can imagine ever being in existence. And it's important for that reason. You're going into it, you've had to keep a lot of secrets. I'm suspecting you're very good at doing that. You've been very good as I've been sitting here.
I've kind of, and I'm all right. I've kind of well versed in it. I kept a secret. Well, I wasn't allowed to talk about my role as Khan in Star Trek. I haven't been allowed to talk about plot spoilers in Sherlock. So I've been quite well trained. I've done it a few times now. So, yeah, I'm here to tell you nothing.
You told me nothing, and
Exactly.
I'm very impressed. I think I'm being wrapped. I was told it was my last question. That goes so fast.
It goes very fast.
Thank you
Lovely to
very
see you
much.
again.